Just as a lotus blooms even in the murky waters, the soul can awaken in the later seasons of life. In Buddhist philosophy, time is neither an enemy nor a race. It is a flowing current, continuous, eternal, and deeply interconnected. While much of the world romanticizes youth and achievement in the first half of life, Buddhism reminds us that the most meaningful awakenings often come not in the rush of early years, but in the quiet clarity of later ones. This is the essence of the late bloom. Turning 60, for many, feels like a threshold. Society sometimes whispers that your best years are behind you, that growth has slowed, and that reflection should replace ambition. But Buddhist wisdom gently challenges this view. In fact, the age beyond 60 is not a conclusion, but an opportunity. A sacred space where the soul, having passed through fire and fog, is now truly ready to awaken. Just like the lotus flower, a potent symbol in Buddhism, growth often occurs unseen. Beneath the surface, in the muddy depths, the lotus begins its journey. It pushes through thick waters for days, even weeks, before its petals finally greet the sun. Similarly, your life up to this moment prepared you for deeper wisdom, richer compassion, and profound inner stillness. Buddhism teaches that the true measure of life is not in the number of accomplishments, but in the state of awareness. So ask yourself, have you lived or have you simply existed? Have you rushed through life like a leaf in a storm, or have you paused to feel the rain? Have you been conscious, mindful, and present? If not, it's never too late. The lotus, after all, doesn't worry if it blooms later than the others. Its beauty is not diminished. In many ways, it is enhanced. At this stage of life, you have an incredible advantage, perspective. You know now what truly matters. You've experienced the impermanence of relationships, the fleeting nature of success, and the quiet power of simplicity. These are not losses. They are teachings. The Buddha himself attained enlightenment at the age of 35, but he spent the rest of his life walking slowly, sharing that truth with others. What matters most is not the age you start, but the awareness you carry forward. In our youth, we chase. In our later years, we choose. And in those conscious choices, to forgive, to let go, to appreciate, to live lightly, there is immense freedom. Many Buddhists refer to this period of life as a third turning of the wheel. The first is learning. The second is building. The third is awakening. What a sacred privilege to still be alive and able to turn that wheel. This is not the time to regret the past or dread the future. It is the time to be. To sit with yourself under the Bodhi tree of your own, making and listen. Listen not to the noise of the world, but to the quiet wisdom that has been growing within you all along. So, if you've reached this age and feel behind, let that feeling go. You are not behind. You are ripening. You are blooming. You are entering a time of life when your spirit can finally breathe. Let that breath be deep, unhurried, and full of gratitude. Buddhist teacher Thich Nhat Hanh once said, "Because you're alive, everything is possible." That is true at 16 and equally true at 60, 70, or 80. You are still here. And because you are still here, the lotus can still bloom. Let this be the beginning of a new journey. One not driven by what the world wants of you, but by what your soul is now ready to explore. You are not too old. You are right on time. After 60, life begins to whisper truths we may have overlooked in our younger years. One of the most profound of these truths is impermanence, a central teaching in Buddhism. Everything changes. Nothing is permanent. And while this may seem unsettling at first, in truth, it is one of the most liberating realizations a person can ever embrace. In your earlier decades, you may have tried to hold on tightly to things: youth, relationships, possessions, ambitions. You were taught, whether by culture or instinct, that success meant accumulation of wealth, of status, of achievements. But now, as you enter the quieter chapters of life, Buddhism invites you to release that grip, to see the beauty not in clinging, but in letting go. Impermanence, or a nicker in Pali, is not a curse. It is a teacher. It reminds us that pain fades, sorrow softens, and even joy transforms. And because nothing lasts forever, every moment becomes sacred. That morning cup of tea, the sun on your face, the sound of laughter from a grandchild, these are no longer taken for granted. They become precious jewels in the present moment. When you embrace impermanence, you begin to understand that life isn't about what you have, but how deeply you experience. In your 60s and beyond, you may have fewer distractions. The career ladder is no longer something to climb. The children have their own lives. The noise begins to fade. And what you're left with is space. Space to breathe, reflect, and be. But letting go isn't just about material things or past identities. It also means releasing old wounds, regrets, and expectations. How much energy have we spent holding on to past resentments? How many years have we been burdened by what could have been? Buddhism teaches that holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal. You are the one who gets burned. Now is the time to open your hands and release that coal. Let go of the past, not because it didn't matter, but because it no longer defines you. Forgive not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. This is the quiet revolution that takes place in later life, a spiritual awakening through release. There is also great freedom in letting go of roles. For so long, we are identified by what we do, a parent, a partner, a worker, a provider. But who are you when the roles fall away? Buddhism invites you to discover your true self beyond the titles. You are not your job, your achievements, your age, or your mistakes. You are awareness. You are presence. You are the silent watcher behind the curtain of change. This is why many Buddhist monks and nuns shave their heads and wear simple robes, not out of austerity, but out of clarity. They are letting go of ego, adornment, and identity. And while you may not live in a monastery, your 60s and beyond can become your own kind of spiritual retreat. A time to shed what no longer serves and rest in what is essential. When you stop chasing permanence, you begin to appreciate the flow. Like the leaves that fall in autumn or the waves that return to the sea, you begin to see beauty in the natural rhythm of things. There's a grace in surrender and a quiet strength in non-attachment. Thich Nhat Hanh once wrote, "It is not impermanence that makes us suffer. What makes us suffer is wanting things to be permanent when they are not." This insight, once fully felt, can change your relationship with life. You no longer resist change. You dance with it. So, if you're entering this chapter of life feeling uncertain, perhaps even grieving what is past, know that you are not alone. And more importantly, know that you are standing at the gateway of deep wisdom. The lotus does not mourn the muddy water. It rises from it. Let this be a time when you lighten your load. Let go of what no longer serves you, not in sorrow, but in joy. Because in the letting go, there is healing. In the release, there is renewal. And in the surrender, there is peace. This is the gift of impermanence, not loss, but liberation. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. The Buddha, there is something exquisite about silence in later life. A kind of quiet that doesn't ask for attention, doesn't beg for validation. It simply is. This is the quiet of presence. And in Buddhist thought, presence is not just a peaceful state of mind. It is the doorway to enlightenment. After 60, you begin to feel how fast the world moves. You watch younger generations race toward destinations they can't name, stare into glowing screens, and fill their time with busyness. But you have seen enough. You've learned that real richness comes not from quantity of experience, but from the quality of attention you give to each moment. Mindfulness, or sati, is one of the core teachings in Buddhism. It means to be fully present, to bring your awareness to what is happening now, without judgment. And the beauty of aging is that the external distractions begin to loosen. You are no longer required to multitask through everything. You have a sacred opportunity to come home to the moment. This is where life truly begins to unfold, in the taste of warm tea, in the slow breath that fills your lungs, in the way the wind rustles the leaves outside your window. These are not small things. They are the pulse of life itself. And you now have the awareness to notice them. In your younger years, mindfulness can feel like a practice, something to schedule or learn. But after 60, it can become a way of being. You don't need to retreat to a monastery or sit in lotus position for hours to find peace. It can begin right now, as you listen, as you breathe, as you pause. Think of your mind like a room. For many years, that room has been crowded, full of voices, demands, deadlines, memories, fears. But now, you can begin to clear space. You can open a window. Let light in. Let the silence settle. This is not an emptying in the sense of loss. It's an opening, a creating of space for presence. When you are truly present, even the ordinary becomes sacred. Washing the dishes becomes a meditation. A walk becomes a prayer. Listening to a loved one becomes a gift. And in these moments, suffering fades. Because suffering, as the Buddha taught, often comes from resistance, from wishing things were different. But when you are fully present, there is no resistance. There is only what is. And the older you get, the more you begin to see that this moment, this breath, this heartbeat, this blink, is the only moment you ever really have. The past is a memory. The future is a story not yet told. But this is real. This is alive. Presence also brings a softness to aging. Instead of fearing the wrinkles, the slower steps, or the thinning hair, you begin to see them as natural, even beautiful. You realize that aging is not something happening to you, but something happening through you. And when you are present, even change becomes a friend. In Buddhist monasteries, monks practice walking meditation. Slowly, deliberately, they walk, 1 foot at a time, fully aware of every movement. Try it sometime. Walk without rushing. Eat without distraction. Listen without needing to reply. Just be. It sounds simple, but it is profound. Because to be fully present is to meet life, not as a concept, but as a living reality. Presence is also a gateway to gratitude. When you're aware of this moment, you begin to appreciate it. The laugh lines on your face become maps of joy. The silence in the room becomes a temple. The breath in your chest becomes a miracle. There is no age limit on awareness. In fact, many spiritual teachers say that awareness deepens with age, not despite it, but because of it. Because by 60, you've seen life's highs and lows. You know that everything changes. And in that knowing, you begin to cherish what is here, now. So, let this season of life be one of mindful presence. Not because you're running out of time, but because time has become precious. Not because the world is quieting down, but because you're finally listening. As the Buddha said, the trouble is you think you have time, but now you know this moment is a treasure. Don't wait. Be here. Feel it. Live it. To understand everything is to forgive everything. The Buddha, in the quiet hours of life after 60, we begin to revisit our personal histories with a deeper gaze. The choices we made, the dreams we pursued or abandoned, the relationships that blossomed or fractured. And sometimes this reflection brings with it a weight, a soft ache for things undone or said too harshly, or for the time we wish we had spent more wisely. But Buddhism offers a path that can soothe this ache. Acceptance. In the West, acceptance is often misunderstood as giving up, as a kind of passive surrender. But in the Buddhist tradition, acceptance is active, intentional, and profoundly liberating. It is not about agreeing with everything that happened, nor pretending that pain never touched us. It's about looking clearly at what was, and letting it rest. After 60, you carry a lifetime of experience. That experience includes love, joy, laughter, but also failure, disappointment, loss. The lotus, as the metaphor goes, blooms from mud, and the mud is just as essential as the blossom. When we do not accept our past, we often find ourselves stuck in a cycle of regret, judgment, or longing. We replay old conversations in our minds. We imagine how things might have turned out differently if only we had made another choice. But this is the mind trying to rewrite a story that is already complete, and this endless rewriting only distances us from the present. Acceptance is a gentle voice that says, you did what you could with what you knew at the time. Let that be enough. In Buddhist teachings, the principle of karma reminds us that every action has a cause and effect. But it does not mean we are doomed by our past. It means we can learn from it, and through awareness, plant new seeds. Acceptance is the soil in which those seeds can grow. It gives space for healing. Sometimes, the hardest person to forgive is ourselves, especially as we age and have more time to reflect. But Buddhism encourages compassion for all beings, including the self. You were not meant to be perfect. You were meant to awaken. And sometimes it takes a long road for the lotus to rise. Acceptance also means making peace with aging itself. The body changes. The mirror shows a face that has weathered time. But rather than mourn what is lost, Buddhism teaches us to honor what remains, and even what arrives. Wisdom, serenity, insight, every wrinkle carries a story. Every scar is a survival. Every slower step is a movement towards something more meaningful. Acceptance lets us stop battling time and start walking with it. One of the beautiful practices in Buddhism is Metta-bhavana, or loving kindness meditation. In this practice, you send compassion to yourself, then to others, then to the world. You begin with a simple phrase: may I be happy, may I be safe, may I live with ease. Let this be your mantra as you reflect on the past, not to erase it, but to embrace it. Because the truth is, the past cannot hurt you now. It is done. It exists only in memory, only in thought. But this moment, this breath, is yours. And when you accept the path that brought you here, you reclaim your power in the present. Somewhere along the line, we were taught that youth is the best season, that power, beauty, and success belong to the young. But Buddhism turns that belief inside out. It says that the later years are a time for the deepest wisdom, that the lotus may bloom slowly, but when it does, its fragrance is eternal. So look back, yes, but look back with soft eyes. Let your past be a teacher, not a tormentor. Let it inform you, not define you. And as you do, you will feel a shift, like the moment after rain, when the sky clears and the earth feels fresh. That is the grace of acceptance. That is the peace you've always carried, waiting to be claimed. Nothing is forever except change. The Buddha, one of the most profound and at times unsettling truths in Buddhism, is the concept of anicca, or impermanence. It teaches us that all conditioned things, our bodies, emotions, relationships, even our identities, are in constant flux. They arise, they exist for a while, and then they pass. To some, this may sound bleak, but to the awakened heart, impermanence is not sorrow, it is freedom. By the time you reach 60 and beyond, impermanence is no longer just a teaching. It becomes an experience you feel in your bones. You've watched loved ones come and go. You've seen your reflection transform over time. You've felt the bittersweet passage of decades. And perhaps more than anything, you realize that holding on too tightly only causes suffering. But in Buddhist thought, impermanence is not something to fear. It is the very foundation of liberation. Why? Because if everything is constantly changing, that means no pain lasts forever. No mistake defines you eternally. No moment, no matter how dark, is permanent. This awareness allows us to let go, not out of apathy, but out of compassion for ourselves and the nature of life. After 60, you have the sacred chance to let go of the things that no longer serve you. Old grudges, heavy expectations, harsh self-criticism, the desire to control outcomes. This is not a giving up. It is a releasing, like exhaling after holding your breath for too long. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you begin caring for what truly matters. Think of autumn, when the trees let go of their leaves without resistance. They do not mourn the falling of each leaf. They trust the process. They know spring will come again. In this way, the natural world teaches us the beauty of impermanence and the grace of surrender. In Buddhist practice, meditations often include visualizations of change, watching a candle flicker, observing the breath come and go. These are gentle reminders that all things rise and fall. But this falling away is not a loss. It's a return to simplicity, a return to the moment. In your later years, impermanence becomes a soft teacher. It reminds you to hold your loved ones with tenderness, to speak your truth kindly, to savor a meal, to watch the sunrise not as just another morning, but as a miracle that may not come again in quite the same way. It teaches you to stop rushing, to slow down, to live fully in the season you're in, even if that season is quieter, slower, more inward. Letting go also means releasing the image of who you thought you had to be. Maybe you didn't achieve everything you dreamed of. Maybe some roads were never taken. But now you see, you were never meant to be a fixed identity. You are a process, a journey, river that flows and bends and adapts. And that is not weakness, that is wisdom. Impermanence is also a key to reducing fear, especially the fear of death. In the Buddhist view, death is not an end, but a continuation, a transformation, a return to the stream of life. When you accept that all things end and begin again, you stop clinging. And when you stop clinging, you become free. You begin to live not for permanence, but for presence, not for achievement, but for alignment, not for possession, but for peace. There's a Zen story of a monk who was walking through the woods when he was chased by a tiger. He fell off a cliff, clinging to a vine, with the tiger above and a drop below. Just then, he noticed a wild strawberry growing nearby. He reached out, plucked it, and ate it. How sweet it tasted. The story goes, that's the power of embracing impermanence. Even with danger around, even with uncertainty ahead, there's beauty here, right now. If you're not afraid to let go, you are free to fully live. So, in this season of your life, let impermanence be your companion, not your enemy. Let it teach you to cherish, to release, to love without possession, and to live without fear. After all, the lotus does not bloom forever. But while it does, it opens completely to the sun. Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. The Buddha, after 6 decades or more on this journey of life, many people begin to feel a subtle shift within themselves. It's not just about slowing down physically. It's a slowing down of the spirit, a call to notice, to appreciate, to simply be. This is not idleness. This is mindfulness. In Buddhism, mindfulness, or sati in Pali, is the foundation of all wisdom. It is the art of living in the present moment, fully awake, without distraction, judgment, or resistance. And while anyone can practice it, there's a unique grace in how it can bloom in the later years of life. Why? Because when you're young, the mind often races forward. You're always planning, striving, proving. But after 60, there's a turning. A space opens. You begin to realize that the past is unchangeable and the future is unknowable. What remains is now, and now is enough. In your 60s, 70s, or beyond, mindfulness becomes not just a practice, but homecoming. It's a return to your breath, a return to your body, a return to the small, sacred details of life that once rushed past unnoticed. A warm cup of tea held in your hands, the texture of sunlight on your skin, the voice of a loved one, spoken slowly, the quiet rhythm of your breath in the silence of dawn. These are not small things. These are everything. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is a path to the cessation of suffering. Why? Because suffering often arises from wanting things to be different, grasping at the future, resisting the past. But the present moment is neutral. It simply is. And when you enter it fully with awareness, even pain softens. Even loneliness becomes a companion, rather than a punishment. After 60, mindfulness also becomes a healing balm for the mind. Studies have shown that mindfulness can ease anxiety, reduce stress, and enhance memory and cognitive function. But beyond the science, mindfulness gives your life a texture, a sense of meaning, a renewed appreciation for the time you still have. In Buddhist monastic life, monks are trained to bring mindfulness into every action, walking, eating, speaking, even washing dishes. You, too, can practice this in your daily life, no matter your circumstances. Try it. When you wake, take 3 conscious breaths before leaving the bed. As you eat, chew slowly, tasting every bite. When someone speaks to you, listen with your whole presence. When thoughts of worry or regret come, observe them like clouds passing through the sky. This is mindfulness. It is simple, but it is not easy because the mind will wander. It always does. The practice is to return again and again, and each time you return, it's like polishing a mirror. Gradually, you begin to see yourself, your life, and the world more clearly. Mindfulness also deepens your relationships. When you are fully present with another, whether a friend, a partner, a grandchild, your presence becomes a gift. You stop multitasking. You stop rehearsing your reply. You simply witness. And that witnessing becomes a healing space for connection. But perhaps most importantly, mindfulness prepares a heart for the end. not with fear, but with tenderness. Buddhist monks often meditate on death not to be morbid, but to live more fully. When you are present, you stop postponing joy. You stop waiting for the right time to appreciate life. You see, this moment is the right time. And so, as you walk the path beyond 60, let mindfulness be your companion. You do not need to travel to a monastery or retreat into solitude. You only need to notice the breath, the body, the now, because now is all you've ever truly had. And now, finally, you are ready to live in it. Not as a hurried guest, but as a welcome resident. This is the gift of age. This is the wisdom of mindfulness. This is what it means to bloom late and bloom wide. If your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. The Buddha, as we age, our capacity for compassion deepens in ways we never expected. It is not just about feeling sorry for others or offering kind words. True compassion, as understood in Buddhism, is a boundless love and care for all beings, including ourselves. It is the ability to see suffering without judgment and to respond with understanding, kindness, and gentle action. By the time you reach your 60s, you've likely experienced significant pain and loss, the deaths of loved ones, health challenges, and personal struggles. These experiences, while often painful, have a transformative power. They crack open the heart, allowing compassion to flow more freely. In Buddhism, compassion is inseparable from wisdom. Wisdom teaches us that everyone is suffering in some way, even if it's not visible. Behind every action, every word, every person, there is a history of challenges and heartbreaks. To be truly compassionate is to acknowledge that we are all connected in our suffering and in our capacity for healing. As you grow older, you may notice a shift in how you view the world. Your priorities change. You may find yourself more attuned to the struggles of others, whether that's a neighbor dealing with loneliness, a friend facing illness, or a stranger in need of support. You no longer look at the world through the lens of competition or comparison, but through the lens of understanding and empathy. One of the most profound ways compassion grows with age is in the way you treat yourself. The Buddha taught that to be truly compassionate, one must first have compassion for oneself. This is not selfishness, but a recognition that you cannot pour from an empty cup. You cannot offer kindness to others if you do not first offer to yourself. As you enter this phase of life, it's time to let go of the harsh inner critic. Let go of the belief that you are not enough or that you must constantly prove yourself. The love you extend to others should begin with a gentle love for yourself. Imagine speaking to yourself the way you would speak to a beloved friend who is hurting. Instead of berating yourself for imperfections, embrace them with kindness. Acknowledge that you, too, have lived through challenges and deserve compassion. After all, you've weathered life's storms. You're still standing, still learning, still growing. But compassion is not limited to yourself. It extends to all beings, near and far. It is easy to feel compassion for those close to us, our family, friends, and loved ones. But as we age, we come to understand that compassion has no boundaries. It can extend to the stranger on the street, to the animals we encounter, to the environment we inhabit. Buddhism teaches that metta, or loving kindness, is one of the four Brahma-viharas, the divine abodes of the heart. It is a practice of sending goodwill, love, and compassion to all beings without exception. It begins with a wish for yourself to be happy, healthy, and free from suffering, and then expands outward to others, from loved ones to even those we may not know or like. The beauty of compassion after 60 is that it becomes effortless. It's no longer a striving or a goal, but a natural expression of who you are. The more you open your heart, the more you realize that offering kindness is not about grand gestures. It can be as simple as a smile to a stranger, a kind word to a colleague, or a silent prayer for someone in need. As your life progresses, you might find that your desire to change the world shifts. It no longer feels like an urgent need to fix everything, but rather an ongoing practice of spreading love in small, meaningful ways. You begin to realize that each compassionate act, no matter how small, is like a pebble dropped into a pond, creating ripples of kindness that spread far beyond your immediate circle. But compassion also teaches you to embrace the reality of suffering, both in others and in yourself. It is not about fixing or rescuing. It is about being present with the pain, offering comfort, and allowing others a space to heal in their own time. This is a practice of patience, of accepting that not all suffering can be alleviated, but that we can still show up with love and understanding. In Buddhist teachings, the practice of Tonglen is a beautiful method for cultivating compassion. Tonglen means giving and taking. It is a practice of breathing in the suffering of others and breathing out love and healing. Imagine for a moment, you inhale the pain of someone who is struggling, and as you exhale, you offer them peace. This practice teaches us that compassion is not something to be hoarded, but something to be shared freely. In your later years, you have the gift of perspective. You've lived through ups and downs, and you've seen how fleeting and precious life truly is. This awareness enables you to love more deeply, forgive more readily, and show up for others in ways that may have been difficult in your earlier years. You've come to realize that the most important legacy you leave behind is not wealth or possessions, but love and kindness. In the words of the Dalai Lama, our prime purpose in this life is to help others. And if you can't help them, at least don't hurt them. At 60 and beyond, this purpose becomes clearer than ever. You have the chance to radiate kindness, not only in the moments of joy, but also in the moments of hardship. Let this time of life be the period when your compassion blooms, just as the lotus opens at the right moment. It is never too late to be kind. It is never too late to make a difference. To let go is not to deny, but to accept. Letting go is not to forget, but to remember without attachment. The Buddha, as we age, there is a natural tendency to accumulate, not just material possessions, but also memories, regrets, and unfulfilled desires. These attachments to people, to outcomes, to past versions of ourselves often weigh us down, making it harder to move freely, to live fully. Buddhism teaches that attachment is a root cause of suffering. It's not the things themselves that cause pain, but our clinging to them. The Buddha spoke of attachment as a chain that binds us to the cycle of suffering. But when we can let go, even just a little, we release the tension that comes from wanting things to remain the same, from holding on to what has already passed. After 60, the process of letting go becomes especially important. You have lived a full life. You have accumulated wisdom, but you have also faced loss, whether it be the loss of loved ones, careers, or health. Yet, as you age, you come to understand that true peace is found not in holding on, but in releasing, letting go of the need to control, to hold on to the past, to preserve what no longer serves you. Letting go is not about forgetting or abandoning. It is about acceptance. Acceptance of the natural flow of life, of its ups and downs, of its inevitable endings and new beginnings. It is the acceptance that the people you love may not always be with you the way you wish, that your body may not always be as strong as it once was, that your career or dreams may have shifted. And that's okay. In Buddhism, one of the most important teachings on letting go is found in the concept of impermanence. The Buddha taught that everything is in a state of constant change. Birth and death, joy and sorrow, gain and loss, they are all part of the ever-changing rhythm of life. We cannot hold on to any one moment, any one person, or any one thing forever. The sooner we accept this truth, the sooner we can let go of the fear of losing what we hold dear. The art of letting go requires awareness. It's about noticing when you are clinging, when you're holding on to something out of fear, desire, or attachment. Sometimes we hold on to people or possessions as a way of feeling secure. But in truth, security comes not from control, but from the ability to flow with life, to accept change as a natural and necessary part of existence. One of the most powerful practices in Buddhism for letting go is mindful release. This practice invites you to focus on the things you're holding on to, both physically and emotionally. It might be a grudge, a regret, a belief that no longer serves you, or even physical items that clutter your home and mind. Take time to sit in stillness and reflect on each attachment. Gently ask yourself, does this still serve me? Does it still bring peace or joy? This can be a challenging practice. It requires honesty and courage. But the beauty of letting go is that it brings a profound sense of freedom. As you release old patterns, outdated beliefs, and unnecessary possessions, you make space for what truly matters. You create room for peace, clarity, and contentment to fill the spaces once occupied by attachment and fear. Letting go also means releasing expectations. particularly the expectations of how life should unfold in your later years. You may have had dreams of where you would be, what you would be doing, or who you would be with at this stage of life. But as time moves on, you may realize that life has unfolded differently than you expected. And that's okay. In Buddhism, there's a concept known as non-attachment. The practice of loving without clinging, of experiencing life deeply without trying to control the outcome. This is a deep form of freedom. It allows you to love with all your heart, but to understand that love, like everything else, is impermanent. The relationships, the moments, the experiences you cherish will change over time. And instead of resisting this change, you can learn to embrace it, to love more fully in the present moment. When you begin to let go of what no longer serves you, you also let go of the need for validation. As you age, you might find that the desire to prove yourself, to gain approval from others, becomes less important. You become more comfortable in your own skin. You let go of the need for praise or recognition because you have learned to trust in your own worth, your own intrinsic value. Letting go, however, does not mean you stop loving or caring. On the contrary, you begin to love more deeply, more freely. Without the weight of attachment, you can appreciate life in its fleeting moments with more grace and less fear. The act of letting go invites a sense of inner peace, knowing that nothing in life is permanent, and that's what makes it precious. As you enter your 60s and beyond, embrace the art of letting go. Let go of the need to control. Let go of the need for certainty. Let go of the fear of what lies ahead. And in doing so, you will find a freedom that allows you to live with greater clarity, joy, and ease. The mind is everything, what you think you become. The Buddha, as we grow older, the wisdom of acceptance becomes one of the most powerful tools we can cultivate. It's not about resigning to the status quo or giving up on the desire for change, but rather about embracing what is without resistance. Acceptance, in the Buddhist sense, is not about passive resignation, but about finding peace with what is real in this moment. In Buddhism, acceptance is closely linked to the practice of mindfulness, the act of fully experiencing each moment without judgment. So often, as we age, we find ourselves yearning for the past or worrying about the future. But the Buddha teaches that true peace is found only in the present moment. The past is gone and the future is uncertain, but the present, this very moment, is all we can ever truly grasp. At 60 and beyond, you may find that your mind naturally begins to reflect on your past. You might think about the choices you made, the paths you took, and wonder, what if? But Buddhism reminds us that the past is already written. There's no point in clinging to it, no point in wishing it had been different. The true lesson is in how we choose to move forward, in how we choose to accept the present as it is. Acceptance means no longer fighting against the inevitable. For many, aging can feel like a battle, with the body, with time, with change. But what if, instead of seeing aging as something to resist, we saw it as a natural and beautiful part of life cycle? What if, instead of resenting the changes in your body, you accepted them as signs of wisdom, strength, and the passage of time? This doesn't mean you have to give up on caring for your health or your well-being, but it does mean releasing the attachment to a perfect, youthful image. As the Buddha teaches, suffering arises when we resist what is. When we hold on too tightly to an ideal, we create suffering for ourselves. But when we accept what is, we free ourselves from that resistance. Acceptance also helps us cultivate gratitude. The older we get, the more we realize how fleeting life is. We may have fewer years ahead of us, but those years are precious, and each day is an opportunity to appreciate what we have. The flowers of the present moment are blooming before our eyes, and the wisdom of aging allows us to recognize them more fully. One of the most profound aspects of acceptance is the ability to forgive both others and ourselves. As we age, we come to understand that holding on to resentment only causes pain. Holding on to grudges takes up mental and emotional space that could otherwise be used for peace, love, and joy. By accepting the things that have hurt us in the past, we make room for healing. Forgiveness is a central practice in Buddhism. The Buddha taught that when we hold on to anger or resentment, we are only harming ourselves. The other person may have moved on, but we remain shackled by our own bitterness. When we forgive, we release that burden and free ourselves from the past. It is an act of self-love and self-compassion. Acceptance also means embracing impermanence. The Buddhist teaching that everything is in constant flux. Nothing in life is permanent. Not our bodies, not our relationships, not our possessions. While this truth can be difficult to accept, it is also deeply liberating. When we accept that everything changes, we stop clinging to things that are fleeting and begin to appreciate them in the moment. We stop wishing things were different and start fully experiencing life as it is. This is particularly important as we age. In our younger years, we often try to fight the inevitable, try and look younger to stay in shape, to hold on to things we once had. But as we grow older, we come to understand that the true beauty lies not in resisting change, but in accepting it. Aging is a part of life's natural rhythm. The wrinkles on our faces, the gray in our hair, are simply markers of the experiences we've lived and the wisdom we've gained. They are not signs of decline, but signs of growth. Another form of acceptance is accepting our own limitations. As we age, we may not be able to do everything we once did. Our energy levels may drop, and our bodies may require more rest. But instead of resisting these changes, acceptance allows us to meet our limitations with grace. It's okay to slow down. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to say no. The freedom and acceptance is realizing that we don't have to be everything to everyone. We can simply be ourselves, fully present in each moment, without the need to prove anything. Ultimately, acceptance is about learning to live in harmony with life as it is, not as we wish it to be. It's about finding peace in the present, even when things are imperfect or uncertain. It's about acknowledging that we are part of the vast web of existence, and that our place in it is both unique and temporary. But rather than feeling lost or insignificant, we can embrace our place with joy and gratitude, knowing that we have the power to shape how we experience the moments we have left. As the Buddha said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. By accepting ourselves, the people around us, and the inevitable changes of life, we open the door to true peace, a peace that transcends external circumstances and radiates from within. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up or resigning to fate. It means embracing life fully as it is in all its beauty and impermanence. We are shaped by our thoughts. We become what we think. When the mind is pure, joy follows like a shadow that never leaves. The Buddha, as we reach the later years of our lives, the Buddhist perspective encourages us to look inward, to reflect on the path we have walked, and to acknowledge the legacy we are leaving behind. The beauty of life after 60 is that we can embrace the full picture, not just the victories, but also the struggles, the imperfections, and the lessons we have learned along the way. In Buddhism, the idea of legacy is not about material wealth or fame, but about the impact we leave on others through our actions, words, and intentions. A truly meaningful legacy is not measured by what we accumulate, but by how we have lived, how we have treated others, how we have contributed to the greater good, and how we have cultivated inner peace. One of the most profound aspects of Buddhist philosophy is the idea of generosity, not just in terms of material wealth, but in terms of love, kindness, and compassion. When we give freely, we are not just sharing our resources, we are sharing our essence. As we grow older, our legacy is shaped not by what we have, but by what we have given, the love we have offered, the wisdom we have shared, and the support we have provided to those in need. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that we need to accomplish something monumental before we die. Write a book, leave behind a famous invention, or make a mark on the world in some way. But Buddhism teaches that the true impact we have often comes in quiet, everyday moments. The ways we touch the lives of those around us. The small acts of kindness, the words of encouragement, the ways we help others find peace and happiness. These are the things that truly matter. As you age, you may find yourself thinking about your own mortality more frequently. And while this would be a sobering thought, Buddhism encourages us to reflect on death not as something to fear, but as a natural part of the cycle of life. Death is not the end. It is simply another step on the path of existence. In fact, it is only by acknowledging the reality of death that we can truly embrace life. The Buddha's teachings on impermanence remind us that nothing is permanent, not our bodies, not our minds, not our relationships. The more we accept this truth, the more we are able to appreciate the present moment. By fully embracing the reality of life's fleeting nature, we can live with greater intention, focusing on what truly matters and letting go of what no longer serves us. As we near the end of our lives, it becomes more important to look inward and ask ourselves, what have I learned? What have I shared? What impact have I had on those I love and those I've encountered? This kind of self-reflection is not about self-judgment, but about self-awareness. It is a way to honor the life we have lived, to acknowledge the growth and wisdom that have come from our experiences, and to release any regrets. One of the greatest gifts of aging is the ability to see life clearly, without the distractions and illusions of youth. We can reflect on our choices with a sense of peace, knowing that everything we've gone through has brought us to this point. The suffering we have experienced, the mistakes we have made, the challenges we have faced, all of these have shaped us into who we are today. And in Buddhism, every experience, whether joyous or painful, is a teacher. Now, as we age, we have the opportunity to share our wisdom. Wisdom does not come with age alone. It comes with the willingness to learn from our experiences, to reflect deeply on our lives, and to pass that knowledge on to others. The gift of wisdom is not just about knowing facts or having answers. It's about knowing how to live with compassion, understanding, and grace. As the Buddha taught, wisdom is the ultimate form of liberation. By cultivating wisdom through mindfulness, meditation, and compassionate living, we not only liberate ourselves from suffering, but we also help to liberate others. The impact of this wisdom ripples out far beyond our immediate circle, to our children, our friends, our communities, and even the generations that will come after us. In the later years of life, we are in a position to guide others with the wisdom we have accumulated. Whether it's through our relationships with family members, friends, or even strangers, we can offer advice, comfort, and support. And in doing so, we create a legacy of love and wisdom that will continue to bloom long after we are gone. The final bloom of the lotus, like the final chapter of our lives, is not about grand accomplishments or public recognition. It is about embracing who we are, accepting where we've been, and sharing the love and wisdom we've gathered along the way. It is about living fully in the present moment, with peace in our hearts and gratitude for the life we have lived. In the end, the legacy we leave behind is not one of things, but one of being. It's the way we have loved, the way we have shared, and the way we have embraced life in all its impermanence. This, according to Buddhism, is the truest measure of a life well lived. If this video has inspired you, don't forget to subscribe to the Crit Wisdom for more content on personal growth, mindfulness, and finding peace at any stage of life. Share your thoughts in the comments below. How have Buddhist teachings shaped your life? Let's bloom together.